Επόμενος ομιλητής, ο κύριος Στάθης Κωνσταντινίδης, επίκουρος καθηγητής στην ηλεκτρονική εκπαίδευση και πληροφορική υγείας στη Σχολή Επιστημών Υγείας του Πανεπιστημίου του Νότιγχαμ στην Αγγλία.
Thank you. I'm going to talk about open education. And initially, when I considered the audience, I said, this is the most difficult thing to do here, because some of you are experts in the field. So, my name is Stathis Konstantinidis. I'm coming from Nottingham in UK, but I'm still holding a part-time position in Northern Research Institute in Tromsø up in the Arctic Circle. Usually, people try to give definitions about open education. I will not try to give a really precise definition for open education because it could be very loose. I have here, since Open Knowledge Foundation is one of the organizers of the conference, a definition that I found on their website and actually as part of the open education working group, that open education often associated with the popular concept of open education resources, freely accessible, openly licensed resources that are used for teaching, learning, educational assessment, and research purposes. But open education is much more than just open educational resource. It involves aspects like opening up relevant educational data and changing both institutional and wider culture. A lot of people try to give definitions about open education. This picture shows that it's not so easy. And there are notions, terms from cost effectiveness to access to time that somehow can be included in open education. Concept maps, numerous of concept maps can be found on the web regarding open education, trying to contextualize what it is. Today I will try to explain what I believe that it is open education through quite a lot of different action points. I will start with open educational resources. Back in 2001, the MIT Open courseware provide their resources online. And actually, this statement that the idea is simple to publish all of our course materials online and make them widely available to everyone on their website today is the notion behind it. Some people believe, though, that first the University of Tübingen in Germany was the first provider of open educational resources. Why open educational resources are so known when we're talking about open education? Because it was the open education resources movement that kicked off the discussion about open education. And initially, the main points of research was what about sustainability of open educational resources? What about pedagogy? What about barriers that we have to uptake? How we support the learners? What technology to use? How we can be sure about the quality and what's going on about the rights and the licensing when it comes to openness. There are a lot of projects that deal with open education resources, and as you can imagine, the majority of them are in the north part of the world. So United States, Canada, Europe are the providers of open education resources. I select this specific project because it's dealing with the open educational resources in the global south, as they say, that actually in even low-income countries, open education resources there, and they take them, they adapt them, they use them. But when we are talking about open educational resources, the real power on it, it's on the ability that we have to repurpose them. Back in 2009, a definition about repurposing was set for open education resources was set in the Educator project, saying that repurposing is transforming a learning resource initially creating for a specific educational purpose in a specific educational context in order to fit a different new purpose in the same or different educational context. But repurposing is not just changing. It's repurposing to different languages, different cultures, different pedagogical approaches, different educational levels, different disciplines or professions, different content types, different technology, repurposing for people with different abilities, repurposing to educational content, and changing in the content itself. A little bit earlier in 2007, David Wiley talked about the 4 R's of reuse: reuse, revise, remix, and redistribute of open education resources. There is the real power of it. MOOCs is the meaning massive open online courses can say a lot. There are a lot of definitions out there. But the thing with the MOOCs is that they are aiming at a lot of people. They want to have their content open. Sometimes it's not always possible. We come across closed MOOCs as well. And they target at a lot of people. They have strong emphasis on learner independence and peer support. The pedagogies that are used are based on social connections. Of course, there's some criticism about MOOCs that they are only suitable for more experienced learners and those who are technologically competent. And the completion rate for MOOCs is very low, which easily can be justified because it's open, so a lot of people register, but there are very few that are interesting. Initially, MOOCs, actually, the biggest event regarding a platform about MOOCs was a joint action between MIT and Harvard, two of the most known universities, that they put together something about $60 million to set up a platform called edX, which I think it's one of the leading one at the moment. Other platforms like Udemy from Stanford, and as you can see, there are a lot now are out there. MOOCs is here, and they're here to stay. So we have to improve them somehow. Another issue that it's not always clear when we're talking about open education resources is the collaborative learning and the personal learning networks. All this material which is created from collaborative learning and all the ways that in our days have about learning through social media or any collaborative way is here, and it's part of open education. During our school, we're going to hear about that as well. When it comes to pedagogy in open learning, there is always a question that comes across our minds that do we need new theories of pedagogy, or are these just adaptation of existing ones? Some theories of connectivism come in the foreground, and they are considered as the most appropriate about digital age. At the same time, some concepts called rhizomatic learning have started to arise. Rhizomatic learning, it comes from the roots, the concept of the roots of a tree, that they parallelize the roots with the knowledge that you cannot define how a root is, or you cannot define how knowledge is, and the complexity of both is high. Open education. How we can form open education without standards? So there is an urgent need of open standards. European Commission has realized that and have started to foster the open standards for education. We can come across a few examples like the European Qualification Framework, the European E-Competence Framework, that they are established in order to fill in a few of the gaps on open standardization for education. On the other side of the Atlantic, in States, Med-Bigetus Consortium provide quite a big range of ICT educational standards that has also a branch in Europe. We're talking about data and open data out there, but how this open data could be part of open education? Back on 2009, there were a project that was led actually by the Aristotle University in Thessaloniki that utilize the link open data cloud and create some technological advancements in order to connect different repositories of open educational resources. At the same time, the semantification of knowledge and open education resources is coming to the forefront, since the technology is urging us toward that direction. So, for example, if we look for a resource in an open educational repository, we can come across, for example, with the description of a YouTube health video. And this video has to do something with leukemia, let's say. So through this semantic web, through the open, linked open data, we can easily find definitions that exist on clinical data datasets, on articles, on any database. I came across this image in a conference in Cardiff like 1 month ago, I think. And I liked it because I think it clearly defined that everybody's different and everybody's learning with a different way. So it's not fair to ask everybody to do the same. So, should we open up the education? I would say yes. It's about time to open up the education. But definitely we should be careful of the dangers that hold. We should open up the education, but not sacrifice the quality, for example. So I would like to thank you.